Hello, can you hear me? Let's see if this works. I've got a new setup, so it might take me a little bit of time just to make sure that this is working. Can you hear me? Let me just check myself. Can you hear me? That sounds good to me. So hello. And I've got a new microphone and it's very green behind me. So, I apologize if it might take me a while to adjust things to the correct settings. But Merry blooming Christmas to you all. And I hope you all had a great Christmas. And I got some Christmas treats for you today. Like I said, I can't change the green screen at the moment. I'm not sure how to, so you're going to have to just cope with some big ginger and glaring green during this broadcast. But I'm basically going to do an hour-long broadcast, and I've got some interesting puzzles to show you. So what I really want you to do is to get involved with this show. So I'm looking at the chat box over here. So when I look over here, I'll be keeping an eye on your chat. So I can already see Joel Johansson, Sony Xperia, Rage Against the Machine, great band, and Smithy, and anyone else who's just joined in. Hello to you all anyway. So, what are we going to do? Like I said, I've got puzzles lined up, and I want to get you involved with some of these puzzles. I've got some great, attractive, beautiful chests to show you. I'm also letting you know during this broadcast, if you're watching it live or if you're watching it afterwards, that running for the next couple of days only, and over at my website, GingerGM, on New Year's, we are offering 50% off a DVD collection that I've made. Now, look, I'm not going to go too much into sales pitches, but I need to make some money, so I've got to tell you about it before we get into the chess. And what it is, it's over 100 hours of openings that me and a team of top players have put together. So if you want to improve your openings, this is a great package for you. It's also got some other stuff in there, secrets of sacrifices. A lot of work's got into it. It's over 100 hours. And if you click on the link below in the description, you'll be able to get that for 50% off for a short period of time. So you can treat yourself to some good openings. And it's got very good reviews, this, and etc., etc. Hello, Fred from Zambia. That's a long way. Wow, we're getting exotic now. Well, first of all, I want to share with you, and this is a question for some of you out there, the first position I've got saved. Now, this position only occurred 2 days ago in the World Rapid Championships. Now, I'd like to know your opinion, in the chat about this, because let's just say it's held in Saudi Arabia. Some people have protested that and not played, but then a lot of people are playing there. I'm not going to get too much involved with religion, but they're supposed to have a pretty bad human rights record. For example, homosexual people get executed over there, and should there be a chess in such a country? Aside from that, there has been some beautiful chess played, and I'm just going to bring up one of the positions which really struck me, and I thought was a beautiful position. So let me bring it up. Hopefully you can all see that now, and let's have a look. Can you see the position? Hopefully you can. And this is taken from a game between Sergei Karyakin with the white pieces against the youngest grandmaster at the moment in the world, and Espenko from Russia, one of the youngest Russian grandmasters, I should say. And this was an amazing game. Now, Black had just played knight to c5 here. Excuse me, where I just adjust things. Attacking the white queen. Remember, this is a quick play game. And in this position, the queen retreated, attacking the bishop over there. But we can see here that Black has a lot of pieces all around the white king. So there's a lot of pieces all around that little king there. So there's danger, danger. Well, thank you, Tran Lee, for the kind comments. And I would say it is a very good deal, this deal below. And there is a money back guarantee, even if you don't like it. So, you know, I think it's a good deal. I would say that, but it is. And now the game continues with, after this move, a very nice idea. Now, Black played this attack fantastically. Now, we can't take on b2 here because this bishop is guarding that square. I mean, this is the kind of idea we'd love to play, but not here, because you lose your queen. But we don't also want to start retreating. When you're attacking in chess, retreating is for wimps. Let's not retreat. So we don't want to retreat our bishop here. So we've got to stop the queen from threatening our bishop. So Black's next move is a fantastic move. It's what I call a decoy move. So imagine you're Black here. How can you keep going forwards? Retreating is for wimps. So how can we keep going forwards and block the queen's route to the bishop? So let's see if you have any suggestions in the chat now. Join in the chat now. What is a move here to block? You want to stop white from playing queen takes bishop. You don't want to lose this bishop. So how can you stop that? And I'll give you 1 minute to suggest a move. Smithy. Hello, Smithy. Smithy, you are on fire. And after Smithy, Tree, Eric, Colin, and everyone else, well done. Tran, yes, well done. You've all got it right. The next move is a brilliant move. D3. And the point of this move is to block the coordination between your enemy's pieces. And you keep coming forwards. Forwards is the way to go. So very nice move. Now, after this move, White played pawn takes d3, but now the white queen is not threatening your bishop anymore, so you can keep attacking here. Now, what is a great attacking move here? Well, Cispal has jumped the gun here, but now we have time. We want to create threats. Let's create threats. So we want to increase the pressure against our opponent's weakest spot. And this is something in chess you always need to find, your opponent's weakest spot. Here it is b2. So how do we increase the pressure against that square? We bring our knight to a4. And now we have 1, 2, 3 pieces attacking that square. So White is now in some difficulty. White has to defend this square. This is much better, I'd say, than knight to d4. Knight to d4 is a good move because you attack the queen, but knight to a4 I prefer, because if you can take on b2, you're going to be checkmating your opponent because you're breaking through his position. But anyway, let's continue. White has to now defend his weak point, so he plays rook to d2. And now we go for the next move. Every move we've seen is a forwards move. I love it. Forwards, forwards, forwards. Another forwards move, knight d4. So if you suggested this move before, well done. And now after queen to f2, well, this is where we see simply a bit of brilliance. And this is one of the most amazing ideas I've seen this year, and it only happened a couple of days ago. This kid here, I think he's only about 13 years old. Well, first of all, he goes knight to c3 check, and look at this. That pawn can't move because it's pinned, so the king has to go in the corner. And what unbelievable move did he now play? And this is one of my favorite moves of 2017, and there's not much time left. Sony Xperia, well done. You've got it. Maybe you've seen this before. I expect some of you have seen this already if you've been following, the press, because it is a beautiful move. Again, I love this move because 2 of your pieces are attacked, the knight and the bishop. You don't want to move those pieces back. Remember, retreating is for wimps. Well, I say that. Sometimes you have to retreat, but if you're attacking and if you can create threats, then that's what you should do. You should basically try to create threats. So I'm just looking at Joel's comment there. Like the Olympic, sport should be kind of a great way to unite people regardless. Well, I think you're right. I mean, you know, in Saudi Arabia, it seems like Saudi Arabia is making an effort to improve their, should we say, standings and the way, you know, their human rights. But, you know, they are, you know, some countries haven't been able to participate in this, and that's not really what you want in sports. But anyway, look at this move. Queen to b3. And you put another piece on pre, this time by the pawn. And this, for me, is one of the most amazing moves I've seen this year. It's so beautiful. It reminds me, if you can remember the Marshall gold coin game. There was a game played by Marshall, and apparently when he played a move similar to this move, people started to throw gold coins upon the board, which is a lovely image, isn't it? But what is the idea of this? Well, the idea is we're threatening checkmate, and if white takes the queen, then knight takes b3 is a beautiful checkmate, a 2-knight checkmate. I mean, that is just gorgeous. Hello, Blazer Row. Hi there, sir. Glad you can join in the commentary. I mean, there is very good prize money, but, and I know a lot of people are relying on the prize money, but you know, I actually, you know, I'm going to be honest to you guys. I'm not a great fan. I haven't been in the past of Hikaru Nakamura, even though he's a great chess player. I think it's improved my image of him greatly recently, but him boycotting his championships, I think, is a very admirable thing to do. And he's gone up a lot in my estimation since doing that. So I have to applaud anyone who's taken a stance when it could harm their money to play in this competition. But look at that position. And the game finished. Let's have a look how the game finished. Well, here, what can white do? If white takes the bishop, queen b1 is checkmate. So in this position, white had to take the knight, but now it's black's move and black just keeps attacking. Queen takes c3 check. And here, queen takes c1, checkmate is the threat. So white tried bishop to b2, but now a very nice combination to finish this off. Forcing moves. When you're attacking, you should be looking for forcing moves. Bishop takes bishop check, rook takes, and now look, this is a very long combination, but it ends with queen check, rook's b1, and now the winning move here, knight to c2. And in this position, black wins the queen because white has to give up the queen. And I think it's easy to see here that black's got the queen for the two pieces, so black is easily winning, and black went on to win with this amazing, my move of the year probably, in actual fact, queen b3. I mean, what a lovely move to play. An absolutely brilliant move. Yeah, that's one of my moves of the year. And I think chess is a lot psychological. If you guys or girls watching this play chess at home, you know, one thing I would suggest you do is, this is a psychological technique. If you're playing in a competition, try to visualize yourself playing beautiful moves, beautiful games like that before you go into battle. I was told this, to visualize seeing your opponent resign. It raises your confidence. And, you know, moves like that show the beauty of chess to me and how fantastic the game can be and artistic. So that for me is just simply a phenomenal game. Blazer, oh, yes, I did have a good Christmas. Thank you. It was a little bit, how can I say, boozy. But that's what happens at Christmas. I know you don't drink Blazer Road, but that you know. So now I'm back on track, getting down to some work again. Okay, right. Well, let's now move over to another example I've got saved, and these are starting off quite easy. And the next one that I've got is probably the most famous move from last year, and it's a move I'm sure you're very aware of. Now, I did include this in my last YouTube video. If you watch my YouTube channel, GingerGM videos, you may have seen this, but it's a move which I've become a little bit addicted to. I mean, in the last puzzle, let's go back to the chessboard now. In the last puzzle, you can see the idea of this was the queen coming to b3, and it was this particular idea. Now, the next puzzle, which you probably recognize, is taken from, let me just flip the board, taken from after Queen F2, the World Championship match, Magnus Carlsen versus Sergei Karyakin. And I expect you know the winning idea here. So the winning idea after check, King H7, is a move that now Magnus Carlsen played in order to win the World Championship. So I'll give you a bit of time. If you haven't seen it, you might enjoy it. But the move here, it's white to play and win. Just answering your questions in the chat. Well, Merry Christmas to you, Alan. Chess Philosopher saying, does the new course have an update on the French? No, this is not a new course in actual fact. What you can get at 50% off at the moment, so if you click the link below, is over 100 hours of opening work that me and a team of other grandmasters have put together. And it's a lot to do with, I would say, I don't know. For example, the French DVD, I think, was something like 9 hours long. And I've put so much effort into it. I'm going to do an updated version on some of it soon. So I will warn you, some of it's a little bit old, but it's really, really, I think it will make your openings very strong. It's what I still use as my opening repertoire, everything included in this package, 50% off if you click the link below now. So, I mean, you can get over 100 hours for about £40. Now, in that, you can have a look at the description, what openings included. When it comes to the London system part 2, well, I might be creating that at some point, but this collection I'm talking about here really includes a much more aggressive repertoire. So it's ideal for aggressive players out there. Anyway, onto the puzzle here. Now, most of you may have seen this, so I'm not going to go into it, but this is how Magnus Carlsen became world champion. He became world champion by playing in this position a fantastic queen sacrifice, queen to h6 check. And this, you know, excuse my language, but it is a very sexy move. I mean, that's the kind of move that James Bond would play in a film. I can just see Daniel Craig as James Bond playing that move in the casino, and and really like going, oh yes, I expect you to die, Blofeld, even though that's what Blofeld said to James Bond. It's a really beautiful move. I love this, yeah, but I mean, I've only just mentioned this because I did mention it on YouTube. By the way, Sony, yes, the thing below is actually very high level. The thing below is very high level. But okay, so this move you've probably seen. Now, the point is, if king takes rook h8 check, and if pawn takes rook f7 checkmate. So this forces checkmate. Now, I just wanted to include this again because there was a puzzle, let me get to it, that only occurred 2 days ago, and this is unbelievable. First of all, you may have seen this one. This is another example of that same checkmate pattern. Rook check, king h2, and in this position it is black to play and force checkmate with the same idea. What's the solution here, everyone? But the reason I'm including this again, only again yesterday or the day before, there's an example of this weird queen sacrifice checkmate in a game that Vishiwan Anand played. And I believe that Anand is just become world blitz champion. So blooming well done, Anand. Really impressive for someone who's a bit older generation. But anyway, first of all, it's black to play and force checkmate here. How can black force checkmate in this position? So this one, it's not quite queen h3 check yet. Let me just work out how many moves it is. It's 1, 2, it's about 3 or 4 moves. 3 or 4 moves. Yes, Blazer, I didn't actually see the last round, Blazer, because I had to prepare this lesson. But well, I'm happy. I think Magnus has got a. I mean, he's done well enough anyway. I'm happy for Anand to become world blitz champion. It's good to see the older guys doing it. Well done, Sispal. Sispal in the chat is the first person to find a solution. Now, this again, one way to improve at chess. Well, let's see what happens. And I've showed this before, so I'm not going to go into it in too much depth. But it's pawn takes pawn check. Pawn takes pawn, and now this amazing idea, queen to h3 check. The point of which is the same as the Magnus Carlsen game. If king takes h3, checkmate, because now the rook cannot be taken. And if pawn takes h3, we've opened up the second rank. So this is now going to lead to checkmate. You can see that king cannot escape. So this move, queen to h3, is just an absolutely fantastic queen sacrifice. Now, I just wanted to mention that because one way to get better at chess is to recognize patterns. And this is just one example of a pattern, this queen h3. And if you start to notice them in your own games and in patterns in other games, hopefully you will notice them in your own games and be able to play them in your own games. And I think it's very interesting, this, because Anand only in the last hour has become rapid champion. And one of his critical games that helped him become world rapid champion was this pattern I've just shown. And this is a new one, but it's a similar pattern. So he's probably very well aware of this trick. And let's move on to that now. And the trick that it was this position, and Anand was black in this position. And he's playing a good friend of mine, actually. He was playing Luke McShane, an English grandmaster. And in this position, Anand was black and he played queen to e6. And now Luke, maybe not aware, maybe Luke wasn't aware of that move that I've just shown you. Luke now played queen to f3, threatening to take the pawn here. Now, what move did Anand play here as black? You should all get the answer here. But it only occurred 2 days ago. So it shows you that really by recognizing patterns, you will improve your chess. You'll improve your tactics. Chess is all about patterns. And this is what you've got to get good at. Dren is saying, what do I think of AlphaGo crushing chess? Well, I'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, this one. And remember, what is the answer? There's only 2 ideas here. And the idea that wins this is, like before, can you start to see the patterns occurring here, everyone? It is queen to h3 check, the same kind of pattern. And it's amazing because you're drawing the king away so that you can checkmate on h1. And I have to say, Anand must have been so happy to have played this. And to be honest, his position was not that great before he played this move. And this might have been one of the critical games that helped him become world champion. So this little pattern he recognized, the king has to take the queen, rook h1, a beautiful checkmate. It's simply just a lovely way to become rapid world champion. So congratulations to Anand. Thank you, Tran Lee, who's purchased my course below, which is again at 50% off. Thank you. I hope you enjoy the course. There's loads of good opening stuff there. So if you want to support me, buying that course now will give you the opportunity to do that. And it is running at 50% off for a limited time. Now, what do I think about, I expect most of you are aware that recently a new computer program had been developed and it went on to defeat the best computer. It learned chess in something like 4-6 hours, and it went on to defeat the best computers out there. It was basically programmed by someone I used to know, Dennis Hazabis. I used to know him from my younger days as a chess player. He was a chess prodigy, and he invented the computer game Theme Park, if anyone can remember that. And he started this artificial intelligence company, which I think it was Google brought them out for a lot of money, and he now turned his hand to chess. And I was actually joking, I don't know if you've seen Terminator, but there's a scene in Terminator where one of the people invents the Terminator machine. They're advancing without thinking the effects it will have on humanity, and Arnold Schwarzenegger goes back in time to kill the guy who invents it. And I was joking that maybe someone needs to go and kill Dennis Hazabis. I'm not saying that. Of course I'm not. Is he going to be creating the new Terminator, which could destroy mankind? And it's AlphaZero DeepMind. Thank you. Yeah, of course it is. This is the name of the company, is AlphaZero, and DeepMind's the name of the program. And of course that's not true because, like anything, things advance throughout the history of mankind, and we've got to use them rather than let them use us. But we've got to be morally very careful how these things develop, because such a potentially powerful computer or program, should I say, who knows? I mean, it's certainly stronger than us at chess, and if could it make us our pets? Who knows? But I don't know. I think it's a very interesting conversation now. But anyway, I'm not here to talk about philosophy. I'm here to show you some chess. So okay, now on to another one of these moves I've seen. You can see I've found that I've had this addiction now of this particular move. Another puzzle for all of you out there. So let's move on to the next puzzle and to the next one I have prepared. So let's do that now. And this one I found in a magazine. I was doing a bit of research earlier, and this one was a position that was reached in a game between a friend of mine, Donald Mason from England, 2200, and he was playing Grandmaster David Smurden. And this very complex position had arisen, and it was white to play here. And what would you play as white? So have a think about this. What would you play as white? I'll give you a little bit of time to work this out. Now, black may be threatening to take the rook. Well, he is. And it's a very complex position. To answer Eric in the chat, do I play poker or any other competitive chess, or just competitive chess? Well, I used to play poker, Eric, but I gave up poker. I found people were too good. I found it a bit boring after a while, poker, so I don't play much poker. I've played a lot of games. I've played like shogi, backgammon. I've tried my hand at lots of stuff in my life. Okay, well done everyone who's got the right answer. And again, you can see my pattern thing. Once you've hopefully kind of seen this idea once or twice, it should stick with you. And I found this next example in the game. White actually played knight to h6 check, and after he played knight to h6 check, the game black managed to wriggle his way out. But there was a very amazing idea here, and the amazing idea was, surprise surprise, queen to h6. The idea of this move, well, it's twofold. First of all, before you play such a move as this in a game, you have to consider all your opponent's sensible options against it. So before you recommended queen to h6, you would calculate what would happen if black plays bishop takes queen, and what would happen if black plays bishop takes rook. So I hope you had a good idea against both of these moves. So let's now look at that. So you shouldn't play a move such as this until you've worked out as many possibilities as you can. Well, first of all, if bishop takes queen, Blazero saying he's on Poker Stars at the moment. Well, good luck for you, Blazero. I used to play on Poker Stars, but I think I'm a bit too impatient, actually, even though I play chess. And I didn't have the patience for online poker. I preferred live poker, but online poker, I found it a bit boring. I'll be honest as well. I mean, and people got very good. I mean, when I started playing maybe 15 years ago at poker, and it was a lot weaker then, and I made a bit of money. But nowadays, people are too good. Well, okay. So against this, you should have worked out that now we have knight takes bishop check. Black only has one move because the rook is stopping the black king from moving in, and that is king to h8. And here rook takes f8 checkmate. But what is the correct answer if black instead plays bishop takes rook, getting rid of one of your important attacking units? What can white play now? And this is the real answer. And I have to say, Sis Powell seems to have got it, but let's just give everyone else a chance. What is white's beautiful winning idea now? And it's a really beautiful checkmate, this one. I find it funny that some of you are playing poker at the moment while listening to this. I hope I'm not messing up your calculations. But yeah, the checkmate here was I've never seen this checkmate before. So This to me is a very unique checkmate. I guess you could call it a box checkmate. A little hint: when you're attacking, you generally need 3 pieces attacking in order to deliver checkmate. You generally need 3 attacking pieces. So think about that. When you're attacking your opponent's king, make sure you've got at least 3 pieces attacking if you're looking for a checkmate. But here you've got 3. And 3 is indeed the magic number. So here, queen to h8 is a simply astonishing way to basically checkmate. I mean, it's a beautiful move. First of all, you offer your queen on h6. Your opponent doesn't take it. Then you say, you will take my queen. You will take it. And here, black has to play bishop takes queen. And now this lovely move, look at this, knight to h6. And that is such a beautiful checkmate. One of the most beautiful checkmates, again, that I've seen. I think that one to me is astonishing. I mean, one thing I always try to get across in videos and lessons I do, a lot of the time, is the beauty of chess. Chess is such a beautiful game. And positions like this, I'd rather do something like this in a game than ever, go to an art gallery. I do appreciate some good art, but this to me is art. This is just astonishing. Look at it, absolutely astonishing move. And I think someone answered the question. I don't know what it was, but if we go back, the last thing after queen h6, what happens if black plays rook takes f7? Well, I'll let you answer this. What can white play now? White can still force checkmate in this position. So how does white force checkmate here? This is maybe, I don't know, could we say the most boring of the checkmates? I mean, that last checkmate to me was simply just absolutely beautiful. But how does white force checkmate here? And remember, when you're trying to look at these problems, and it's the same in a game, if you had this in a game, you're trying to, sort things out, you'd have to look at the most forcing moves. Checks are always the most forcing moves. And here, this check is going to win the game because we're going to take on f8 whatever black plays. It doesn't matter. Bishop or rook, we're going to take it leading to mate. For example, rook here, and look how important the queen is. The queen is very important. Rook takes f8, check. Bishop takes, rook takes f8, checkmate. So another lovely queen h6 puzzle that I found there. Now that's the end of my queen h6 fetish. Can we call it a fetish? Not sure I should call it a fetish, but you get what I mean. My queen h6, and I've got some more puzzles which I want to get you involved with. Today I thought we'd just do some fun puzzles rather than something else. Before I do that, I will tell you a bit more about the course, which is 50% off. If you're watching this on YouTube, you have to understand, this promotion, I'm doing this free lesson, and the only reason I can do free lessons here and on my YouTube channel is if I can afford to do them. So if you haven't got my over 100 hours of opening work, and it's not just me, we have other grandmasters doing this whole series. It's basically 10 years of work, and there's some tactic stuff in there. You can now click on the link below, and it's 50% off for the next day or so. This good deal, and this is a good deal. I definitely recommend you check it out. Buy yourself the thing while it's on offer. It will improve your chess. So, okay, well, I think we'll move on to another puzzle in a second. But about the collection, it's mainly openings. So it gives you all the openings I play from my lifetime experience, but it also got how to sacrifice some stuff on that, how to develop your pawn structures. We had Ivan Sokolov come in and do a DVD on that. And he's been in Kasparov before, been in top 5 in the world. And he's just one of the presenters on the link below. So if you're sick of me, you've got other presenters there as well, which a lot of people, I'm sure, will be happy of. Okay, back to the chess anyway. So let's bring up my next example now. And We will just, let's see if I can get that up. Okay, yeah, we're sharing again. Now, the next one, I've just picked out some nice problems, which I thought we could all have a go at doing. And first of all, though, Dren is saying you'd be too scared to play that. Well, basic chess is about seeing patterns and then calculating patterns. And if you are able to calculate that was going to be checkmate in all variations, you'd have to play it, wouldn't you? You'd have to play it. And talking about patterns, Pokemon, I have been watching some of the World Championships. You are right, yeah. I've been watching a bit of it. We talked about that earlier. Now, I expected Magnus Carlsen to be one of the favourites. And talking about Magnus Carlsen, this next game is... again, is a Magnus Carlsen one. I'm not sure I have done this one before, Omkar, because I've only I prepared this puzzle here today, actually, unless I've used it before and forgotten about it. In answer, Johnny Golden, will my rating go over 2,500 in 2018? Well, I don't know. I don't play so much now. I don't have as much time to prepare my own games because I'm preparing so much material. And the material I prepare now, just to be honest, is for lower rated players than 2,500, 2,400 players. I think it's the stuff that I try to prepare, if you click on the link and buy this 50% off at the moment, it's basically from anything from 1,300 up to 2,300, I'd say. So in order for me to prepare, I have to start looking at other stuff. I like helping other people prepare. Simon, whatever happened to Tigers Modern? Very good question, Blazer Row. We lost our editor. We lost a lot of footage. We've got that footage back. And now we're trying to find another editor just to finish it off. It's been a real pain in the bottom, this DVD. Things are going to have to change in future. Otherwise, we'll go bust. And I expect it has to be out in a month's time. It just has to be one way or the other. And that's the next thing I really need to work on now. So it will be out. And that's our next DVD. But yeah, it's a long wait. And I'm sorry for everyone who's waited for that particular DVD by Swedish Grandmaster Tiger Hillett Persson on his own opening. It will be out. It's just going to take a while. It's annoying me just as much as anyone else. Trust me. Anyway, on to this. Now, this is a position from one of Magnus Carlsen's games. And, well, thank you, Blazero. That's very kind. Very kind. And thank you, Johnny Golden, for buying my Master Method 1 and 2. I hope you enjoyed them. I mean, pretty much good feedback from them. I think everyone who's told me has given me good feedback, but they would anyway. Now this is taken out. It was black to move, and black now played bishop to c. Well, this was a variation. He played bishop here because, of course, this is the most natural move because you're trying to win the rook. Now, in this position, white does not have any sacrifices at the moment. So queen to e2 was what I think Magnus had in mind. And now, after bishop takes h1, what do you think Magnus's idea would have been as white in this position? And this is a typical sacrifice that you can play in Sicilian type positions. This looks like a Sicilian to me. Well, thank you, Hype, for saying my first master method was excellent. That's very kind to hear. I always thank you, Dominic, for saying the second master method is even better. Well, I do really try in everything I do to make it as good as possible. I don't want to sell stuff that is just rubbish and there to make money. I want to really help you guys. I really want to get good feedback and to help you improve. I wouldn't be around this long if I just did rubbish. Well, thank you for more good comments, Johnny Golden. I mean, to be honest, what I'm selling below here in the link is different to the two master methods, and it's at probably a higher level. It's really all openings in a lot of depth. And it really is a lot of complicated lines I go over, but it's in my same teaching style. Okay, right. Well, the typical move here, which I think most of you have seen, And this is typical for a Sicilian. Look, your opponent's king is trapped in the middle. You have a queen lining up, and you have a lot of pieces potentially attacking that king. In this position, remember we said 3 is the magic number. Well, here we have 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces attacking. So what we should do in such a position, because checkmate is what we're doing, because we sacrificed, we've got to now gamble. We have to do something aggressive, because otherwise we're just going to be a rook down or exchange down. We have to try to play the most forcing moves. So if you had this in a game situation, you should be looking at the most forcing moves. And I always say this. Now, I see Lynn Frint has recommended bishop g6. Now, this is a very interesting idea, but it's not as forcing as a check or a capture. We should be looking at checks and captures because they're more forcing. So you need to break it open, as the chess philosopher is saying, and a number of other people. And a knight takes e6 is the correct way to do that. You're being violent, you're forcing the position open, and you're making roads in towards the black king. Now, can black take the knight? This is the first thing we would need to answer before even considering this whole line. Well, if he does take the knight, as Cispal, well done, Cispal, you're very sharp today. Well done, Cispal. And I haven't even said boom once, have I, Eric? There will be a boom coming up, Eric. Don't you worry. But yeah, first of all, if you do take the knight, again, it's the 3 pieces. Remember, 3 pieces is the magic number. When you're trying to attack, just count. Often you can just count and then work things out. Well, boom! Queen takes e6. Oh, sorry, I had to do a boom, didn't I? And with our next move, our bishop's going to come in, and then we have 3 attacking pieces. For example, bishop to e7, bishop g6, check, and now only one move, king to f8, queen to f7, checkmate. So we can work out, if we were planning this combination, that after knight takes e6, and you should work this out before playing the moves, that after knight takes e6, black cannot take the knight. So if he can't take the knight, he has to move the queen. I think we should agree on that, because otherwise we're going to win the queen. And what is a more natural square than to move the queen to e7? Because now we're kind of breaking the queen's route to the king. And it might look in this position that black is okay, because black is threatening to win the knight. Black has won our rook in the corner. And if we don't have a good idea for white here, if we don't find a good idea for white here, black is winning. Now, I am sure that Magnus had seen this idea in a game. And there's an amazing move here. And this one is going to throw a lot of you off guard, because I've said so far, look for the forcing moves. Now, what you need to do, and before, I'm just going to go back to my face for a second, because this is very important to remember. When you're trying to calculate, if you want to become a better calculator, a better calculator, better tactical player, you have to, I have this tree of what you're doing in forcing complicated positions. When you know you should be looking for a boom, you need to look for forcing moves at the top. And then you need to go down the pyramid, the tree, forcing moves first. So checks, captures. And then you need to, third on the list, threats. Can you create a threat? And then fourth on the list, if you can't do any of those things, or you calculate they do not work, you need to look at ways to bring in reinforcements. Look at the pieces that are not doing anything. Look at ways to bring them into the battle. Now, bear that in mind, because we're going to use that tree I've just said in this next position. So let's have a look. So let's go back to the position now. And now, what is the move? Well, have a look at it. Thank you also, someone who said that, the course, Ron has said Nick Pert's Endgame DVD, and Nicholas Pert's World Under-18 champion, he did 2 DVDs for us on the Endgame. And that was over 15 hours. And that is just part of the course, which you can buy at 50% off if you click on the link below. And I have to say that on its own is probably worth the money, because Nick Pert gives you a masterclass on becoming a better endgame player. Now, in this position, I would be looking, as most of you are now, at bishop b5 check first, because this is a forcing move. So it's at the top of our pyramid. It's a forcing move. It's a check. But does this move work? Well, let's have a look. If it doesn't work, we can't play it. So we have to now calculate. Well, pawn takes pawn. Queen takes check. But in this position, can't black play bishop to c6 here? And if white doesn't have a good move now, then I'm not sure that this is working. I can't actually see a good move for white now. I think black is maybe winning here. Is black not winning here? I can't see a good move in this position. For example, we can keep trying. Let's have a look. Rook d8 check. But even after rook d8, I might be able to take with my queen, because I'm threatening your queen. You know, that's one move that black has. You're running out of pieces. This is always a problem I've had in my games, because I love sacrificing. But you're running out of pieces here. And knight to c7. Is this working? Well, what about queen takes c7 here? I think this is winning for black as well. You're running out of pieces. So in actual fact, this shows the correct way to think in chess. I don't think bishop b5 is working. I mean, I think we're guessing here. It seems like in the chat we're guessing. And in a game situation, we'd have to work out whether this is working or not. You wouldn't be able to guess, because if you played bishop to b5 and it didn't work, you would lose the game. You would lose the game, because it's very forcing. It's at the top of our list, the top of our pyramid. But if it's losing, you'd lose the game. So what we therefore do, we then go down our pyramid. We look, is there any other forcing moves? No, there's not. Can we create a threat? Not easily, because our knight's on pre. Therefore, how can we bring in more pieces? Well, the rook here is not doing anything, and we have actually here a very nice slow move. And the reason I like this, because it's not very obvious, but in actual fact, the move bishop to f5, which I think someone suggested, is a brilliant winning move. Now, first of all, this is not just a quiet move. It does, and remember, I'm going to say this again, checks, captures, threats. The third thing you need to be able to do is threats. And this move does create a threat. It does create a threat, very importantly. Now, what is the threat? Well, let's say that black now played, I don't know, g6, for example. White can now force checkmate. How can white now force checkmate? Go back to the top of the pyramid. Look for checks again. Look for captures again. But checks, checks, checks. White can now force checkmate because bishop f5 did two things. It brought in the bishop to the attack, the rook to attack, and it created a threat. So actual fact, it brought reinforcements in and it created a threat. White in this position can force checkmate in two moves. And as Bell is saying, there is a boom coming up. Omkar, well done, Omkar. You've got it. Well done. Rook to d8 check. What a beautiful move. And what do you say when you do that? You say, boom, boom. That's what you say. And whatever black plays, knight to c7 is going to be checkmate. For example, rook takes rook, knight to c7, checkmate. Why is this checkmate? Well, the queen cannot take the knight because the queen is pinned. The king can no longer move to d7 because our bishop here is stopping the king from going there. And that is a beautiful checkmate. What about queen takes rook? Oh, boom! Double check. Double checkmate. Is that even a word? I don't know. Very nice checkmate. To answer Monkey Shoulder, would the course be any good for 1300 player? Well, the course that is on 50% only for a very limited time, you can buy by clicking the link below. It's in the description. By clicking that, some of the stuff in it is certainly perfect for 1300. Now, I say that, and I mean it, because there's basic beginners endings. I explain all the openings, the ideas behind the openings. Yes is the right answer. There's over 100 hours there for whatever the price is. It's an absolute bargain. I think it's great value for money, and I think everyone who's brought it says the same. Well, the course I'm promoting, let me just look at that position a little bit longer. The course I'm promoting now is actually, it's not actually, I wouldn't say a course, but it's all the DVDs that my company GingerGM has made over the last 10 years. I think we started making DVDs about 10 years ago, and there's over 100 hours of really good material there. So you've got end game stuff, you've got tactics, you've got a lot of openings. You've got how to play 1d4, how to play the French defense in depth, Sicilian Dragon. There's loads of stuff there. So it's everything that my company's done, and we're selling it, and it's over 100 hours, about 110 hours of tuition with not just me, other people, for I think $40 or $50 or something. It's ridiculous. I don't know why we're doing it so cheap. It's too cheap, to be honest. And it's really an aggressive course, but there's stuff there that, you know, if you don't like some stuff that doesn't suit you, some other stuff certainly will suit you, because I'm not just presenting, other people are presenting as well. And yeah, I mean, I think for the price it works. It's working out for about, you're getting an hour's tuition for about 50 cents. You know, every hour is about 50 cents, and every hour has been prepared a lot. So anyway, I think it's obviously worth it. Okay, right, now we've only got 5 minutes left, and let's finish with we're on the theme of Magnus Carlsen. I was just looking at some lovely Magnus Carlsen games. Now this next one he played 13 years ago, so he was probably still in his nappies at the time, and he's probably still weeing himself at the board. So that was, you know, maybe a possibility. And so let's have a look. So, okay, and it's white to play and win. And I love this one because the move is so ridiculous. It's a beautiful move. It's a beautiful move. Let's have a look. And yes, you are right, Ron. I think we're selling it too cheaply. But hey ho. I want to raise some money to bring out some more stuff, because I'm creating more stuff. I need to basically to raise some money quickly in order to get some money together to basically pay other presenters. For example, I think we've got now, very excitingly, and if Blazer Rowe is here, he'd be interested. It's David Howell, who's a legend. He's doing a course for us. This is GingerGM, so it's great. Anyway, white to play and win, and black has just played h6, attacking the knight. But in this move, Magnus Carlsen came up with a shocking yet beautiful and brilliant move. What was the shocking yet brilliant move? Omkar, yes, Omkar, you're doing very well today as well. Omkar, brilliant. Yes. You've got it right. You've hit the nail on the head, and well done to everyone else who's seen it. Well, I suppose giving it a cheap option is a great way to avoid people illegally downloading it, which does unfortunately happen. Ron's saying he's watched the French and Dutch DVDs, which is only something like 20 hours of the 100-hour course. So, you know, I think they're good. Good, Blazer. He did mention it. Yeah, so he's one person we've got, but I want to get some other people. I'm trying to get Luke McShane and Matthew Sadler as well to do some courses, whilst I'm trying to also, finish off Tiger's DVD and other things. So there's a lot of stuff here. But look at this move, people. Anyway, black probably thought here that white had to retreat the knight, because he played h6, attacking the knight. But now Magnus Carlsen played the unbelievable queen takes a7. What a move. Now, let's have a think about this move. Well, first of all, we'll come back to the move in a second. But first of all, that is top of our list, isn't it? We look at forcing moves first. We look at checks and captures. This is a capture. So it should be top of our list. And what a move it is. What an unbelievable move this is. Because the idea is, well, first of all, if black now takes the knight, we can play queen takes a8. And we've won a rook, and we're going to win the bishop next move. So this is clearly winning for white here. So where else can black play? Well, if black plays rook takes queen, we now have rook takes c8. It's not quite checkmate, but after queen to this square, only move, rook takes queen, check, king takes rook, and now we keep winning everything. Knight takes pawn, check, the king moves, knight takes rook, and here, well, basically, white is, in this position, a piece up. So white is clearly winning in this position. So I just love that first move. I mean, let's go back there. How many people would consider playing queen takes a7 here? Now that is what I call a beautiful, sexy move, that one. And you can, I do believe in the concept of sexy chess. That is sexy chess. Now I think we're going to finish one more puzzle, and you know, like I say, I'm just looking at some of the questions. It would be great to get Matthew Sadler to do a DVD. Of course it would. I mean, we're trying to get big names, so I'm going to continue to do that. I want to get quality stuff. I want to sell it as cheaply as I can whilst I'm able to, but also we've got some exciting ideas at GingerGM coming on. That's why we're selling the course below, because it's over 100 hours. We're doing it half price, because some of it, don't get me wrong, is a little bit dated, but some of it also is timeless, like the endgame stuff. So we will be updating some of that material. But if you haven't seen it, it's a great, it will give you all the openings you need and the basics in the endgame for a very good deal. So that's why we're offering it below in the description, only for a limited time at sale price. Oh, you know, you'd be, you know, that's why. Okay, now the last one is the last one we have is another Magnus Carlsen one. And this one's a bit of an easy one. Let's finish on a nice easy one. So let me just bring it up, and then I'll put the chessboard back on. And let's see. And this one is, well, if you can tell me the checkmate, so it's black to play and win, it's quite easy. And if you can also tell me the name of the checkmate, well done. Bonus points for you. So let's bring it up here. Okay, so here we go. Black to play and to checkmate. Here we go. Thank you, Eric, for buying my course. Boom! Well, thank you. That's very kind, Eric. I'm glad you've actually brought the course. So I'm sure it will be good value for money, Eric, and you will not regret it. If you do, I'll give you a money back anyway. So you get a money back guarantee anyway. So even if you don't like it, you can ask for your money back. Are the videos interactive? Not at the moment. They're not, but we're developing that for the future. I see a lot of you have got the name, but Smithy, I think you're the first person to actually name the checkmate. It is indeed the Anastasiya Checkmate. And everyone else, well done for getting this. This was Magnus Carlsen in, I think it was the World Under-12 Championships. And here he played the lovely move, Queen to H5 check. And that is such a beautiful idea. There's only one move, pawn takes queen, and now this knight traps the king there. The rook swings over, boom, checkmate. And that is the reason it's called Anastasiya Checkmate is actually due to a German author. There was a German author, and I can't remember the name of him, but he wrote a book going back to, well, at least a couple hundred years, maybe 300 years. He wrote a book, and it was sort of a novel which involved chess stories and chess positions. Great idea for a book. And one of the problems he had in there was a similar checkmate to what we just saw, and he named it the Anastasiya Checkmate, after Anastasia, maybe a girl he knew, and that's where it came from. And I can't remember the name of the German author at this moment. I'm just looking at by Irene is saying, can you do a video on the Deutsch Gambit? I don't even know what that is. What is that? I've no idea what that is. Dominic saying, hire Blair to do a DVD. I love that idea. Well, exciting news, Dominic. We are going to be streaming, me and Blair, a lot more regular together in the new year, trying to do it once a week. So you'll see some crazy Blair action again. So we will be doing that. Oh, well, thank you, Dan, for giving the information. Now, how is my German? Not very good. Anastasiya und das Schachspiel by Johann Jakob Wilhelm Heinz. And that is Shakespeare, I know, means chess, the game of chess, playing chess. But that's the book. I don't know what year it was anyway. But, okay, we've come to the end. Like I say, I'm supposed to be, I don't know if I'll be able to now because something quite urgent's popped up. I was supposed to be doing another lecture tomorrow. I'm not sure if that's going to be possible now. So this might only be the only chance you've got to buy this course at this reduced rate. So if you want to support me and if you want to help your own chess, click on the link in the description below. If you're watching this, on the YouTube channel of iChess, hopefully the link is still there. It's only there for a valid time. You can get over 100 hours for 50% off. And that is an absolute bargain. Don't get Ben Feingold to do a DVD. I wasn't planning that. Pokemon Legends. Okay, well, thank you for buying it. That would be great. And I'm aiming to do a lot more free content on YouTube stuff. People purchasing my courses and my work allows me to do this. I'm going to be doing many more YouTube videos when I have time to. I've got to try to make a living as well, but yes, I will be doing that. The English opening is not included in that course, just to let you know, but D4 is. And what else is there? Okay, Irene is saying the Deutsch Gambit. I'll look into that, Irene. Maybe something I'll try to do for the future. And well, thank you all for tuning in. I have to go now. I've got some food to eat and I've got more work to do. I probably won't be doing another lecture tomorrow. Don't 100% count it out. But I've got loads of puzzles. I'll try to put them in a YouTube video or do a stream myself. But thank you so much for tuning in. Remember, if you want to support me, buy the link below. If you're watching this on YouTube, I have to mention the link below and I have to do the sales thing because, of course, that's what I'm pushing. That's why I'm able to show you these beautiful puzzles. We do try to make a living from this as well. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to do it, would we? Simple. So thank you all. Cheers. And if I don't see you before the new year, if I don't see you online, have a blooming great new year and have a great start to 2018. So thank you very much. And I'll see you all soon. Goodbye.